All right, let's move on to the next thing. And I want to tell you some things about Google Gemini that are new. Now, Gemini, if you haven't used it already, is just gemini.google.com, and it is Google's generative AI tool. And it's pretty amazing. You can come in here and enter your prompt. Just ask Gemini what you'd like it to do. The more specific you are with the prompt, the better your responses are going to be. So be really clear to tell the who, what, and why. Tell Gemini who it should act as, what it should do, and any specific things you want it to achieve. Once you're in here, be aware that there are a number of different tools in here as well. So there's guided learning, which will help Gemini act as a tutor. It'll actually ask you questions or ask your students questions if they're using it, and guide you through a learning process rather than just giving you the answer. There's deep research, which you can ask it to help you understand a particular topic, and it will do a really deep dive into that topic. It'll look up resources from literally hundreds of websites and collate them all together into a really detailed report. You can also create videos in here using VO, like I just showed you over in Vids, and also create images with Nano Banana as well. So that's all built in here. And there's also what's called Canvas mode, and Canvas will let you create interactive things in here. So rather than just give you a response, Canvas will put the response on one side of the screen and you can continue to interact with it on the left-hand side. And whether you're developing code or whether you're developing just regular text, you can actually use it as a partner and just keep working with the output. So Gemini's Canvas mode, really powerful. Do check that out if you haven't. That's all in there. There's also a couple of different models you can use. There's a fast model, which is fast. It gives you answers pretty quickly. There's a thinking mode, which gives you, it takes more time and uses more tokens. Let's not get into that right now, but it's a more sophisticated model that you really don't need for most things. So save that for your really complex prompts. And there's a pro model as well if you have access to that. You may or may not, depending on your school context. So that's Gemini. But the thing I want to show you in Gemini that's kind of relatively new is the Storybook feature. So if you come over here to Gems, and Gems are like pre-packaged versions of Gemini. They're versions of Gemini that have been fine-tuned to do specific things. There are a whole bunch in here that Google provide. You can see these are some of the gems that are provided in here, pre-made by Google. And if you scroll down, you can actually say New Gem, and you can click on that. You can create your own gem. As an example here, I've got some students who are learning about art, and I want them to like have a conversation with Picasso. So I've created a gem in here that acts like Picasso. So it's been trained to know what Picasso did and what he was all about, and so students can come in there and actually interact with an artist who's no longer alive. So you can do some really interesting things in here. But the one I want to show you is Storybook. If I come in here to Storybook, this is a gem that's fine-tuned to build storybooks. Okay, so you can give it a prompt. There are a couple of samples there, but I've got one here I've prepared. Use a claymation art style. Create a storybook about a very curious boy called Chris who explores his backyard and finds all kinds of interesting bugs and insects. He learns a lesson about how important ecosystems are. So I wanted to create that book for me for one of my students, and it's using the student's name. Now, the fast mode is fine for this. So if I just click submit, that will then go and start thinking about creating this book. Now, I will pause the video here because it will take a few moments to do that. And I'll see you on the other side. By the way, just while that's generating, if you're enjoying this content from Geeks on Tap, be sure to hit the like button and subscribe if you'd like to get more of this in the future. Okay, and we're done. And this is the book it's produced, Chris and the Backyard Team. And you can see if I click on the corner there, it will actually open the book up and let me thumb through it. So you can see it's used the person's name that I've asked for, and it takes through and explores that story. Now, as well as the book itself, I've got a couple of options here. I can click this button to go full screen, so I can read that book full screen like that. I can also listen to the book. So if I click this button, it will read it to me.
Chris moved to the rose bushes and saw a silver thread glistening in the sun, sitting in the middle of a perfect.
So it will read for you, and you do have a couple of options. You can change to a higher pitched voice or a lower pitched voice. And if you really want, you can click this little button up here and you can export the whole book out. It does export out as a PDF, so it doesn't come out in fully interactive form. You've got to be in Gemini to get that. But as you can see, if you were reading a storybook to your early years classes and you wanted to make the book about a specific student in the class or make it about the topic that you're currently studying, that feature now exists right here in Gemini. So that's a pretty cool thing. Just back in Gemini for a moment, I just want to also point out that if you want to create an image of something, that's that tool called Create Images, or Nano Banana as it's called. Long story. If you hit create images and then describe what you want, so let's just say create an image of a 1980s style poster about insects and bugs, and just hit the go button. Now, I will point out that if your poster is going to contain words, often it's better to switch to the thinking mode. It's much better at getting the words right and the lettering right. So just a tip. If I click on that, that'll just take a moment and generate an image. And there you go. So there's the poster it's created. Let's just click on that to enlarge it. And you can see it's got that 1980s vibe to it, and it's about bugs. It's done exactly what we've asked. So the Nano Banana, the image generation in Gemini now is really, really good. But one of the things you need to know is that if you go into Google Slides and over here, there's a button that looks like a little banana. That image generation tool is also built right here inside Google Slides. And we did talk about the fact before, it's also built right in here into Google Vids as well. And if you're in Google Docs, you've also got the ability to go to that insert image option there and generate an image. And there's also the image generation tool right here in Docs as well. So that Nano Banana, that image generation, is appearing in all the Google tools now, so that when you need the right image, it's right there for you to tap into.